BBC Radio 1.
Warning. Watching this interview presumes you're up to date with Andrew Garfield's recent films. Well, one big one in particular, which we can't really name. This is hard. Yeah. Spoiler alert? Kinda?
So, you've been in some sort of major motion picture, possibly the fifth biggest of all time. Tick, Tick, Boom as well, which has left people in floods of tears. And now also here in the UK, we've got The Eyes of Tammy Faye. What's it like being Andrew Garfield right now? Is it like prettiest girl at the dance sort of thing?
Come on, man. Yeah, pretty much. Prettiest girl at the dance. No, okay, no, I'll tell you a story quickly. Did you ever watch BoJack Horseman?
Big time. Existential crises all round.
So I'm doing Angels in America in London, and I'm staying in my apartment, and I have, BoJack was my kind of comfort show during that time, and I know that I'm parodied in that show.
Oh, hello, I'm Andrew Garfield.
With my big hair and my kind of nervous green sweater, whatever. And there was a night where I had a really bad night on stage, and I came home just feeling so low. Just feeling really like a bad actor, like I blew it. And I put on BoJack, and it happened to be the episode where BoJack is auditioning for Seabiscuit. And he wants Seabiscuit so much. And he's going through his own, this is my moment, this is my moment. And he auditions, and he nails the audition. And he's about to get the part, and then the casting director gets a call saying, oh my God, Andrew Garfield just became available for the part of Seabiscuit.
We got Andrew Garfield?
Oh my God, it's the best day of my life!
You don't say no to Spider-Man.
This movie is gonna be amazing!
Andrew Garfield!
And BoJack is the one that is left totally despondent. So there was this amazing moment of complete existential meta, suddenly I was BoJack, but also I was me, and I was the one getting in my way because I was BoJack. It was wow. That was one of the, and I just laughed and sobbed uncontrollably to myself, a la BoJack. I didn't drink, I didn't get wasted. But I think I bring up that story because it's I'm just so grateful that I get to work. I'm just so grateful that I get to make things and make things that I love. And in quiet moments, in moments of terrible self-doubt or whatever, I go, well, I'm okay if I can just make theatre and do plays for an audience of 10 for the rest of my life. If I'm allowed to do that, that's enough. And the rest, of course, I really am grateful for this moment that I get to be a part of films that I love and that they're being received in ways that are overwhelming. I don't take it lightly. I'm really trying to take it in. You know what I mean? It's a hard thing to do because you're kind of taught to wait for the other shoe to drop or to be found out. You think you're going to get found out as being a fraud in that imposter syndrome way. But I'm getting better as I get older of allowing love in, receiving a pat on the back occasionally, and I'm really working on that. So thank you. Yes, thank you.
Well, on that note, I actually, before this interview, I just tweeted, you know who I like? Andrew Garfield. Send me your favorite GIFs of Andrew. What have you got? So this is a whole new question format. Can you guess which GIFs of yourself were posted back to me most often? Because this tweet went off the hook.
Oh, nice. I'm going to check it out. Is it the laptop smashing?
Number one with a bullet. 4 or 5 people immediately went in with that.
Laptop smash.
That was super impressive.
Let me think.
We've got 3 kisses, separate kisses.
3 kisses?
Yep.
What kisses?
You got Stephen Colbert.
Oh, the Colbert kiss, yes.
A certain Ryan, I believe.
The Ryan Reynolds, yeah.
Yeah, you never forget Ryan. And you kissing Emma on SNL.
Right, yes. Okay, 3 kisses, good.
We've also got a little bit on SNL of you as Justin Timberlake.
Very good. Oh yeah, kissing myself and touching myself. Yeah.
Any further guesses?
No, tell me.
Tick, tick, boom, off the hook.
Oh, good, okay.
Tons of them. Types of hugs.
Types of hugs.
And my favorite one, I think, is either hiding behind a tree sneakily and under the Silver Lake. or it's popping your chest in a red silk shirt at
Drag
RuPaul's
Race.
Drag Race.
Yeah, nice. GIFs, man. Yeah, I'm a GIF.
You are a walking GIF. All I'm
That's
saying
cool.
is people love you, and you and I can't handle compliments. It's tough. It's tough. So
It's really hard. Our lives are really, really hard. I'm so glad that we're having this conversation.
People just don't know what it's like.
They don't get it, man.
If we jump to Tammy Faye, I'm going to ask you this question knowing a couple of the answers, but how many times have you played a real life person now?
1, 2, 3, 4.
I think it's 4. Because obviously you're on a bit of a string of them, really. So in Tick, Tick, Boom and now this, do you have similar ways of attacking the role? Are you the guy that sits down and just does all of the research?
I do. I love it. I love it because you become a kind of a master of none, but a kind of like armchair expert on so much. And I love that. I love that, you know, when I did a film called 99 Homes where I played a construction worker, I got to go and frame houses for 3 months. And the same with Tick, Tick, Boom. I got to learn how to play piano and sing and dance, and I got to try to write my own music just to understand what that process is. And with Tammy Faye, with Jim, it was like, oh God, it was painful. That one was just painful because he was such a pained, lost kind of soul that was longing to fill himself up with things that weren't ever going to nourish him, you know. So, but it was fascinating, you know, especially as a British person, to be like, televangelism doesn't really like mix with British, like talk about not being able to receive a compliment. Like, imagine getting up in front of a camera and being like, if you give me your money, you're going to heaven. Like, whoa, how do you like pull the plug on that? So like,
nope.
so for me, getting into like figuring out how that psyche works, how do you get to that point where you feel confident to look down the barrel of a lens, talking to millions of old ladies, to say,
give me a check,
to say God loves you, and you know, prove your love of God with last week's rent, just a little bit more. We need a little bit more, knowing that these people don't have a lot. I mean, there's a level of delusion there. There's a level of kind of fear, you know, a kind of an emptiness that enables one to do that, thinking that it's God's work. Because I think that he really was consciously believing that he was doing God's work, building for Christ.
It's crackers, really. And you're doing all of this with a really tricky accent.
Yeah.
I mean, the kind of guy that puts an H in wheel.
Wheel.
And makeup, prosthetics.
Yeah.
You're also acting across an incredible person, but who is also unrecognizable as the human being you saw in the trailer.
Yeah.
Talk to me about the makeup.
Yeah.
Talk to me about acting with this accent.
It was a Michigander accent, but by way of kind of Southern Baptist ministers, because he was so deeply influenced by Jerry Falwell and, you know, all those kind of Baptist ministers from the South. So when he would preach, he would kind of naturally take on occasional sounds of Southern Baptist.
Jerry Falwell is a powerful man, Tammy Faye.
So yeah, he was a real kind of conglomerate. It was a real mess. But the Michigan accent, and he had a very nasal, high-pitched thing going as well. It was really, it was embarrassing to do that accent. It took a lot. But then the prosthetics were just a pain in the arse, really, like, because, yeah, exactly, the cheeks and and you feel kind of disconnected from yourself as well. And because it kind of restricts you, and I didn't love that. But the guys I did it with, thank God I loved them, and because we had 4 hours at the beginning of every day together, and they're just hilarious dudes that just made fun of me every day. And we listened to Rage Against the Machine and like Pantera every morning at like 4 a.m.
Is this you about to try another kickflip down the South Bank steps again?
You know about my South Bank 7 kickflip legendariness. I appreciate that.
Like, when was the last time you were on a skateboard? Well, when I was making my face look like this.
Listening to Pantera. But ultimately, it was a really interesting experience in that way. And working with Jessica, you know, she's such an amazing actor. She's one of the greatest there is. And so just to be able to create this relationship with her was so, you know, that was the real joy of this, is that to work with such an actor who's so devoted and has been wanting to make this film for so long, and her heart is so fully in it. So yeah, it was definitely a worthwhile experience in that way.
What's the most memorable bit of direction you've ever got across your career? And
Oh, wow.
I was wondering whether you may have got it in this movie, because there's some out there things here.
No, actually. The most memorable bit of direction, well, it's not direction, but it was the most memorable moment with a director, which was with David Fincher. One day, we were shooting a scene. It was a really big emotional scene. I think it was in the conference room between me and Jesse while we're going through our litigation. And it was an emotional scene, I think, where I'm, doing the whole, no one else's shares were diluted but mine moment. And I think we took a break after take 18 or 19 or 20 of my close-up, and we took a little break, and I took a little walk around the outside of the set on the stage we were on. I happened to be walking behind David's video monitor with his videographer guy who was, handling all the takes and marking all the takes for what he liked and what he didn't like. And I just was happy to be walking by. David didn't see me, and David said, "Okay, first print, delete 1 through 23. I literally crumbled. My stomach dropped. And I was like, there was nothing good in takes 1 through 23? Not one moment that was worth keeping? But at that point,
headshot.
At that point, I trusted him so much. I trusted him so deeply that I was, you just surrender. And he was right about everything. He knew it when he saw it. He felt it when he felt it. But it was a hilarious moment. And he saw me, and I was like, nothing? And he was like, no, that take was great. I'm like, okay.
Rushed.
I don't need anything else. That's the take I'm using. I loved it. I'm like, okay.
As long as you're happy, David. As long as you're happy.
No, but literally, to be on a set with someone that you really trust at the helm is everything. And honestly, as long as he was happy, I was good.
I've got to wrap things up, but I've got one last silly question for you, which is, what is the geekiest thing in your house?
The geekiest thing in my house right now, oh God, I got a lot of geeky things. I have a cassette tape of the Cobra Kai soundtrack. That's pretty geeky.
That'll do nicely.
I have a quilting set.
Do you like my tapestry?
Yeah.
Hey, Andrew, do you like my tapestry?
Wait a minute.
Yep.
This is you? You did this?
Yep.
Dude, that's beautiful.
You're so kind.
We've got to do what we got to do. These are cozy times.
Let's do Knitting Club. I've got to go. My very last thought is they missed a trick. I genuinely have to go. I've got messages. I've embarrassed myself. They missed a trick not referencing crotch and small knives.
Just let me go.
Is that a knife? Is that a real knife?
Yes, it's a real knife.
My weakness, it's small knives. Improvised lines.
Crotch. Whenever I attack somebody with my crotch, I always shout crotch.
I don't want to, maybe cut that bit out.
Gotta go, man. Thank you, dude.
Bye, man. That was fun.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon to keep up to date. You can listen to my Radio 1 movies and TV podcast, Screen Time, on BBC Sounds. And you can find these interviews in full on BBC iPlayer by searching Movies with Ali Plumb.